Good day everyone, my name is Achamene Prince and I'm honored today to speak to you about the crucial topic that supports education, success and reforms. And this topic is called the role of data in decision making in education, the role of data in decision making in education. In this era or in this time where data has become more available or abundant and education institutions are growing so fast, data has become one of the significant things that make strategic, informed and impactful decision. Data has become one of the important things that make informed, strategic and impactful decision. So in this public lecture, I am going to look at, or I am going to explore why education data is important, and then why it matters, the challenges it presents, and the reward application, and also the practical recommendations for its effective use. So once again, in this assignment or in this public lecture, I am going to present to you, or I will explore what education data is, why it matters, the challenges it presents, the reward application, and the practical recommendation for its effective use. So let's dive into the bullets that I've just mentioned here. So now let's look at types of data in education. What are the types of data in education? In education, we have got three types of data. Okay, there are a lot, but I've gathered three types of data. The first one is quantitative data. So quantitative, from each word, deals with numbers. So when we are talking about quantitative, we are talking about test scores, we are talking about attendance records, and then we are talking about graduation rates. Okay, so test scores, these are the learners, what they get after an assessment. And then also we have got the attendance records. Also they speak, it's another data for the learners' attendance, and also teachers, they have got also the attendance record. Okay, and then we have got graduation rates, like I said. And then the other type of data that we have, it's a qualitative data. From each word we can see that it's a general thing. Okay, qualitative is a generalization thing. So this we can have data from a teacher feedback, we can have data, and also we can also have data from the classroom observation. You can observe the class and then get the data that you want, and then the learner's reflection also. Then we have got what we call big data. So big data, this means we are having like platforms like LMS analytics and also AI tools. These tools that we can find education data there. Okay, now let's look at another point, why data matters. Why data matters? Why is data important? Number one thing is that data improves resource allocation. Data improves resource allocation, which means that if the Ministry of Education wants to fund the schools, okay, wants to fund the schools or give resources to the schools, they will look at the data. The schools which is having more learners, then they will increase the funding. Those who are having less learners, they will reduce the funding. It depends, because there is data there that is able to guide them on how to allocate what resources. And then another thing is that it guides curriculum development. Also data guides curriculum development, because you see the curriculum developers will have the information on what is lacking in the curriculum, okay, and what has to be phased out according to the data that is there on the ground. And then the other thing is that it informs policy and interventions. And then lastly, it tracks learners and teachers' performance. So this means that when there is data, so it tracks student or learners performance, which means which means that data will show if the students are, if the learners are failing, then it will show that there is a problem there. And also it tracks also the teacher's performance. Okay, so it will actually direct the teacher whether to improve in his or her teaching strategies. Now let's look at the challenges of what? The challenges in data-driven decision making. What are the challenges? Okay, what are the challenges in data-driven what? Decision making. Number one, we've got what we call data literacy, which means a lot of teachers, they don't know how to present what, or how to interpret what data. They don't have the literacy, they don't have the skills to interpret data, and that is very important, because then decision will not be made if we cannot interpret the data. And then we have got the other point is that it's there's a misuse or over reliance. Misuse over what? Or over what? Reliance. Now, what do I mean by this? So data can be misapplied. Okay, it can be misapplied. Okay, or it can lead to misguided what? Decisions. Okay, so this is the misuse. Okay, so we don't want to be in such kind of cases where data is misapplied, or it make us to create what? Misguided what? Decisions. Okay, and then there is also what we call equity concerns. These are the challenges. Equity concerns. Data can reflect systematic biases. This can lead to disadvantage a certain group of learners. Okay, so that's another thing. Then the privacy and what? Ethics. Okay, and let me illustrate with two examples. Okay, let me illustrate with two examples. With two examples on the case study on the real world application. Okay, for example, in Namibia, the Minister of Education utilized national exam data to identify the underperforming regions, okay, so that they can target what? Teacher training programs. So which means that data showed them, data helped them to identify struggling or underperforming regions. So that is the importance of data. Okay, so when they identified struggling or underperforming regions, then they had to introduce programs which are targeting what? On a teacher training. Okay, and then also teacher training programs. Okay, and also the example that I can give from the neighboring country South Africa is that a school in South Africa used learning analytics from LMS to personalize student support, resulting in a 15% improvement in math performance over a year. You see, that's how these things are. Okay, then lastly, I want to give the recommendations, okay, to enhance the role of data in education decision. So I recommend that, number one, providing professional development in data literacy. So these things, professional development is very important. Okay, so and the Minister of Education must make sure that they provide training, professional development based on data literacy, so that teachers, they can gain skills on how to interpret the data. And then combining data with qualitative insights from teachers, learners, and also combining qualitative and quantitative, because when you use both qualitative and quantitative, you never go wrong with decision making, because you have numbers don't lie. And then also promoting a culture of trust and collaboration around data, around what? Around data use. So in conclusion, data is a powerful tool that supports effective decision making. Let's use it to empower education and create meaningful experiences. So thank you very much once again for your attention. See you.